Welcome to the 14th episode of Digging with Deb. This is just an off the cuff, spur of the moment episode, and I just wanted to show you some things that are current in the garden right now. Let me see here. There's my garden. You can see my house in the background, chicken coop in the background. Isn't that really that windmill nice? And then there's the garden. There's some more of the garden. Now, let me talk to you guys about what you should do each day in the garden. Well, first off, you need to check your water. Do you see the grow oya in the ground there? I'll be filling those up. You need to check your tomatoes or other plants for the worms that we can get. Right now I haven't had any. I don't know what's the deal, but we haven't had any. And I have over here some tomatoes that are in the process of getting ready for me. The onions aren't doing so good this year, but that's what happens. Over here you can see a kohlrabi. I'm not sure if it's kohlrabi, whatever. Anyhow, they're very good to eat raw. And some broccoli that's working on growing. A happy little sunflower. Let's go over here. And look at that zucchini. Right in here, if you look. Yep, there's a zucchini right here. Be picking that later today for supper. There's beets. There's beets down there. You can see if you look carefully. Big beets. I'm going to have to pick them. There's some celery around in here too. This is what square foot gardening does. If you notice, you don't see weeds. That's because these plants are shading the ground with their leaves. They're getting all the nutrition, not the weeds. Here's some dill that I planted. And then you can see down here some lovely green peppers that are getting ready to go. There's banana peppers, and then there's some jalapenos right over here. There's one right there. There's more. Yeah, there's some more. So we'll have jalapenos for my salsa. And then look at this. That looks like parsley, doesn't it? That's not. That's celery. I planted that in January, and it's gotten up to this point. I don't know how long it'll take, but we'll see. And then look at this monster over here. Holy cow, look at that monster. That is one acorn squash. It's in its prime right now with a couple of weeds, a weed coming up here. And you can see right here, there's a baby acorn squash. It'll be ready in the fall. I'm growing some flowers to bring in some pollinators. You always have to have some flowers around. And then another experiment this year is sweet potatoes. Have no idea if I'm going to get any sweet potatoes, but we're going to try. And they're covered because I had a rabbit who really, really likes sweet pepper leaves. So we covered them up, and the sweet peppers didn't get killed, thank goodness. They just got nibbled a little bit. And then, oops, I should have picked this guy. There's a cucumber. Pick him later today to make some cucumber salad. There's one right here that would make a nice pickle in the thyme. And then we have a few coals here that I just stuck in the ground. And then, you know, every year you have pluses and minuses. I planted this whole bed to be corn. And I got some corn coming up, but not near what it should have been. So it's not exactly a negative, but it's not exactly a plus either. I'm going to get corn to eat for supper, but nothing to put up. And I just weeded it, so that's why you see some green weeds in there on the ground. When I'm picking vegetables, you have to have some basket or something to put them in, and that's my hod, my kneeling bench, water, and my tobacco juice, bug spray, and then lots of happy lima beans. I think I will pick some either tomorrow or Friday. We'll see. And you can see over here, here's my corn that's about ready to pick. Probably have some corn for supper tonight, so we'll have some cucumber salad, maybe some zucchini. Maybe I'll have some fish with the corn fresh off the garden. Once this is done, I will pull up the corn because it's no longer useful. And again, my pollinators. Flowers for pollinators. Now this is an interesting experiment also. These are chickpeas or garbanzo beans. They are from the Mediterranean. I have no idea how long it takes for these to grow. They're growing fine. It's just I don't know how long it will take them to grow. What you do is you grow it until it flowers and pods, and just let it dry out. And when everything is dry, you pick the dry beans, save those, and that's your chickpeas. And I have no idea how long it's going to take. But look at those leaves. Aren't those weird? That's a bean. Who knew? And then these are lima beans. Excuse me, kidney beans. So I'm going to do the same thing as with the garbanzo beans. Just let them grow, blossom. They're getting ready to blossom. This is right here's a blossom getting ready. Let them go, let them blossom, dry out when they're dry. Pick them when they're totally dry, so maybe in November, and that'll be it. And if you want to, you can can them, but you don't have to. You can just save them dry and use them in your vegetables. Now, doesn't it look nice to have the walkway all nice and mulched? So looking back on the garden the other direction, and there we go. It's really nice. And lots of weeds around the corn, but I'm allergic to corn pollen, so I'm going to be going in. This is about 9:30 in the morning, and I want to go into my air conditioning. I have the air conditioning running, even though it's not particularly hot, to keep the pollen out of my house. So, people, there's my garden. There's some pluses, there's some minuses. You can see I'm not perfect on weeding. This bed over here is going to get weeded tomorrow, get it all done, because I'm going to be going on vacation shortly. And I want this to be totally done when I do go on vacation. But that's my 10 raised beds. And you can see there's some blueberries back there that are trying to grow. That's it. Well, I wanted to bring you over and show you my girls. They're about 2 months old, 2.5 months old. So 10 weeks, something like that. Not quite big enough to lay eggs, but they're getting there. But what I wanted to show you is on the ground here. Doesn't that look like weeds? Well, that's because that's what it is. When I pull the weeds out of my garden, these girls are more than willing to do their part to eat them. So, this is going to take them all day to munch their way through this. If there's some on the ground, hey, it's just like hay, and they like a nice soft ground. And so the chickens will like that. Come on, girls. Hey, girls, come on out. Come on, girls. Nope. I have 8 chickens. They don't sound quite like hens because they're not full grown yet. Always make sure they have something to do out here. There's not quite everybody. Yeah, that's everybody. Nope. Aren't they nice? Look at that. Those feathers. Aren't they beautiful? Love, love, love my chickies. And I love that they eat up those weeds. That's awesome. So I made sure that they would be able to use the garden waste and produce eggs with it soon. Not quite yet. Maybe next year. I wanted to show you some of the other things that I harvest. This is my picnic table that's on my back patio. These are calendula flowers, and it just so happens that calendula is not only draws in the pollinators, but the flowers themselves, when you infuse oil with it, that means put the flowers in oil and let them soak for a little while, that oil is very good for your skin. And since I make soap, these are a no-brainer to put in my soap to soothe the skin of people. And so there's an additional reason to garden. My flowers that bring in the pollinators are not only good for that, but they're also good for skin. They're medicinal. You can do that. Plan it ahead. Make sure you have all of your tools. Normally these tools are in my hod that I bring out to the garden just like this. So everything I need is right there. And you can see my water in the background for the grow oyas. I use the water that comes from my air conditioner because it's like distilled water, like rain. It's not like water from the faucet. And it's much better on the plants. The plants handle it better. So again, I'm trying to double up and use my resources. You can hear the air conditioner come on in the back. Okay. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching me, and thank you so much for being part of my life. I just retired in May, and so I'm hopefully going to be a little bit, maybe, better at making my episodes here. And a shout out to Pandora Gilboa High School. In fact, all the schools, because I know so many of you guys have subscribed to my Digging with Deb podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you.